Thank you all for joining us for today's AIing for the Future breakfast. I think we can all agree that is a much better title when you read it. There is going to be a lot of exciting tech talk today, but there is no amount of technology that could replace Geraldine and the incredible GCC dining team. So can we give a big round of applause for Geraldine and the GCC team? And how perfect is it that we are gathered here at GCC during National Community College Month, huh? That's pretty good. Community colleges are definitely worth celebrating. GCC especially, I know GCC is an incredible partner and resource to so many in this room. I am extremely grateful to have Dr. Michelle Shute, who is helping to lead GCC forward, and then Alexis Page, who's at the helm of the GCC Foundation, who is inspiring generosity that is expanding that impact further. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Michelle Shute, President of GCC.
Good morning. Well, Jesse's already told you it's National Community College Month, so I'm speaking less. I want to ask you, though, if you have any idea how many Massachusetts college students are currently attending community college. And for those of you who work at GCC, please don't share that number. Just guess.
60%. 46%.
I think Jesse got a hold of my notes.
Am I right?
It is 46%. Yes, so 46% of students that are currently enrolled in a Massachusetts institution right now are attending community colleges. Yeah, that is big, big news. This shows just how powerful community colleges are in helping students achieve their goals that may otherwise not be possible. The changing trajectory of careers and lives. And here are a few ways that GCC is helping to support that our region and beyond. So our graduates build highly educated and skilled workforces, which turns into contributions to a stronger local economy and a vibrant, resilient community. Many of you have already heard me say at other times, 81% of our graduates stay in Franklin or Hampshire County. That's a huge impact to our region. We also, as you know, do a lot of workforce training, thanks to Kristen Cole and her very talented team. Yes. And in fact, we train over 400 people a year in workforce development, which is pretty impactful to our communities as well. GCC serves as a hub to community engagement and intergenerational initiatives throughout Franklin County. We host over 100 events, including workshops, cultural programs, and public lectures. And participants bring diverse perspectives that allow for cultural enrichment and fostering greater appreciation of the arts, sciences, and civil discourse. What truly makes GCC unique is that it's a place that brings people together. It doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter how you identify, it doesn't matter how much money you have. Education is for everyone here. And our motto, "You belong here," is nonpartisan. We provide accessible, affordable education that can transform lives. So many of you are probably aware of Massachusetts Free College Initiative, Mass Reconnect for those over 25, and Mass Educate for the rest of the masses, if you will. Since 2022, when I came in, enrollment has grown by 31% for GCC. Obviously, we're incredibly proud of that, but despite what free college looks like on the front side, what we're finding is that it comes with a lot of complexities. The students that are coming to us need additional wraparound support for things like tutoring and food, transportation, childcare, housing. And so those wraparound services are more essential than ever before. Alexis and others have heard me say enrollment without retention or enrollment without graduation is meaningless. We don't want students to leave us without achieving their goals. And so we need that wraparound support, which is where you all come in. On your table today, you will find this card with one of our students. I would love for you to consider donating to the foundation. and help us provide that wraparound support. Your gifts strengthen those supports and help our students stay in school, but also, as I said, succeed and achieve their goals. Thank you so much for choosing to be here, and thank you for your support of GCC.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Alexis. Thank you, GCC. We are so lucky to have a community college that not only educates, but innovates. And we're going to hear a little bit about that later on today. But first, we have a number of folks who are attending their first Franklin County Chamber Breakfast. So let's give them a warm welcome. Please stand or wave when I call your name. Welcome to Ian Edwards of Greenfield Public Schools. Welcome, Ian. Linda Hargrove and Tommy Nielsen are joining us from Franklin County's YMCA. Welcome. Melissa Vassar is here from Greenfield Savings Bank. Hello, Melissa. Welcome to Keith Bailey and Jamie Moody of Greenfield Community College. Brittany McCary is here from Greenfield Cooperative Bank. Welcome, Brittany. And it's been a little while, so a very special welcome back to Phil Ringwood from Dial South. Where's Phil? There he is. Welcome, Phil. All right, so moving on to two quick announcements. I'm going to keep it extremely brief today because we've got a lot to get to, but as you know, it's spring. There is so much happening. There are great community events happening every day, so if you haven't already subscribed to our newsletter, please do that now. You can sign on our website, but that's a great way to stay informed on what's happening and when. So we're going to start with some really great news. I am thrilled to announce that the Chamber has been selected to lead a year-long rural downtown revitalization project aimed at boosting vibrancy in Northfield, Turners Falls, and Shelburne Falls. It's really great. With funding from the Massachusetts Executive Office of Economic Development in partnership with our good friends at FERCOG and the Franklin County CDC, we'll be working with stakeholders in each of those three communities to pilot a regional coordination model that's meant to strengthen our downtown, support our businesses, and bring community priorities to life. It's really exciting. So we are hiring a downtown district coordinator to help guide that work. If any of this sounds interesting to you, or if you know someone who might be interested in that, you want to, there we go. Check the QR code on the back of your program. And bonus, you're going to see that Marion and I are looking for a member engagement manager to join our small but mighty team and bring even greater value to your chamber membership, if you can believe it. So, if you know someone who loves small businesses and big ribbon cutting scissors, this is a great opportunity to work with an incredible community and a couple of really great gals. So that job description is also connected to the QR code in the back, so check that out as well. All right, so some more great news. As you know, we're just a few months into our Franklin County gift card program, and that is the only card that's countywide that supports small businesses with every swipe. It is redeemable at lots of local restaurants and shops and services, including new favorites like Hope and Olive and Beth and Francis in Shelburne Falls. And if you haven't been to Beth and Francis Boutique in Shelburne Falls, please check it out. It's so cute. There's something for everyone. But there's never a wrong opportunity to gift a Franklin County gift card. So whether it's Mother's Day or Father's Day or graduation or National Community College Month, the Franklin County gift card is the way to go, because ultimately you're giving two gifts. You're giving a gift to the recipient, and then you're also giving a gift to the local community. And what has been really lovely to see is the way that our nonprofits have stepped up and used this program as a way to give back to our business community. I'm extremely grateful for John Waite. Is John here? There he is, John Waite, who purchased the gift card not just this year, but for the last couple of years as an appreciation gift to the entire CDC team during the holidays. And then imagine my delight last month when our good friend Gary Uhas from LifePath called and said that he needed 220 gift cards to give as thank yous for LifePath volunteers. It's amazing.
credit goes to Susan White.
Susan White. Look at this. Amazing. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. We are endlessly grateful for the way that this community has rallied around this gift card program. So if you are a chamber member business and you are interested in being part of the gift card or learning more, you can do so on our website. There's a really easy form to fill out. It's easy, it's free, and it's a really good time to look into it because we've got some big gift card news coming, I think, next week. So check that out if you haven't already. All right, I know I promised 2 announcements, but let me just make the plug that the Children's Advocacy Center is holding their annual flag raising today at 11 at the Greenfield Town Common, raising the flag in recognition of Child Abuse Awareness Month. So I hope you'll join us there. Also, like I said, there's so many great events happening this weekend, so please get out and support the community. All right, now before I introduce our first speaker, I do want to just quickly, oh Lord, tell a story and frame today's discussion, because it's a heavy topic. As some of you know, I have 3 kids. They are now 7, 8, and 10. And if you have ever met children under 10, they are gross. They are really gross. They are basically just walking germ sponges, looking at taste test every handrail at the airport. There's teeth falling out everywhere. It is wild. Our grossness has gotten kind of a little bit better as the kids have gotten older, which I'm grateful for, and I'm extremely grateful that our kids are relatively healthy. But like most families, you know, at least at any moment, there is an ailment or an illness or an unexplained bruise that we're checking into. So last Sunday, my daughter Charlie started complaining of some abdominal pain, and I didn't think too much of it until she started explaining that the pain was isolated right to her lower right quadrant, which, what does that mean? Very good. Yeah, it's the appendixy area, which I didn't love. So all of us here who have ever Googled anything know that WebMD is almost certainly gonna diagnose certain death. So I wanted to skip that stress, and instead of Googling, I hopped over to ChatGPT, and I just typed in Charlie's symptoms, and ChatGPT first expressed its sympathies that Charlie wasn't feeling well, which I appreciated, and then went on to very clearly and calmly give me all of the kind of like warning signs that I should look out for, and give me kind of the list of timeline to when we should probably start heading to the ER, which was really helpful, because that is not what Google would have done for me in that moment. And I do want to say that after all of this, I did type thank you, because if robots do in fact take over the world, I want them to remember that I was one of the polite and appreciative ones. But that is what today's breakfast is all about. AI is here to stay, and it's already being used by some of the largest companies in the world to save time and money, and by desperate moms like me who are just trying to avoid an unnecessary trip to the hospital at 9 p.m. on a Sunday. How many of us are using AI currently? Okay, great. It's actually more than I thought. But even if you know it or not, AI is in our apps, it's in our inboxes, it's in our social media feed, and it's shaping how we work, communicate, and compete. And if AI is going to impact our workforce and our industries and our communities, then from my perspective, being informed is not optional, it's essential, especially for rural areas like Franklin County, where we run the greater risk of missing out on the benefits while bearing the brunt of job disruptions. We have to stay informed. So you've probably heard the phrase, AI won't replace you, but someone using AI might, right? And that's what today is about, learning how to use this advanced technology, not to replace people, but to support the work that we do best. AI is never going to be better than you are at what you're really good at. So how can we use this tool to help aid and streamline our processes so that we're able to accomplish more, grow revenue, and hopefully bring on more jobs? But with powerful tools come powerful questions, and there's some understandable concerns around privacy and data and the ethical use and how this tool is going to impact our creative economy, and those are all very valid. And I just want to be clear right up front that I am not here to hype AI. We are here to have a conversation around what this tool can do and how we can all use it ethically and in the best interest of our community. So, my hope for you today is that you walk away from this breakfast feeling more informed about AI and where the future of technology is headed, better equipped to kind of explore AI and how it kind of has already integrated itself into your everyday work, and then also be able to identify AI and protect yourselves against misinformation. Those are kind of my 3 takeaways from today. So whether you are already an AI super user or you're still struggling to get into your email inbox, you're in the right place. This is the conversation for you today, and we have a lot of fantastic presenters that are going to help us think through what AI looks like in 2025. Our first speaker is Kristen Cole, who is the VP of Workforce Development at GCC. And I just want to say that GCC workforce development programs are a model of adaptability and impact. I feel really lucky that we get to work hand in hand with GCC and the workforce team. The Chamber, along with Sarah and Maura at Must Hire, and some other regional partners, have kicked off these monthly meetings where we kind of rally around local employers and help them understand what's available in terms of resources, and also identify where their gaps are so that GCC's workforce development team can flexibly build programming to address those gaps. And this is the kind of work that doesn't just benefit individual learners, it makes Franklin County more competitive in comparison to other markets. It gives our employers an edge, and when it comes to talent and innovation, it's really capitalizing on what we already have here, which is critical, especially as we continue to combat population loss. We all know that as AI tools evolve, the demand for a tech-savvy workforce is going to continue to increase, but without strong workforce development programs to upskill and reskill people, local economies like ours are at the risk of falling behind. So thankfully, we have GCC not just taking part in that work, but leading it, and I am so grateful for the team. So even before she comes to the podium, can you give GCC Workforce Development Please help me welcome Kristen Cole to the podium.
Good morning. That's a big intro to follow, Jesse.
Yeah,
Thank you.
don't mess it up.
I know, pressure. I'm going to be brief because I'm very excited to pass it to the next folks. But as Jesse said, we have got a strong history of innovation here in Franklin County. We're always looking for the next tool to understand how we can use it to improve our lives. And AI is one of those tools that is certainly going to change the way we work, how we build business, how we serve our communities, and how we find new solutions to these challenges. In GCC's Workforce Development Department, we're working with virtual and augmented reality learning systems, robotics, cloud-based IT, and the latest integrations of automation in advanced manufacturing, healthcare, education, and clean energy. AI is going to impact each of these areas and every other industry. It's a powerful tool, and as Jesse said, it is one we are going to all have to learn how to use responsibly. When Jesse initially asked me to speak about some of the exciting ways GCC is embracing technology in the classroom, I thought for a minute and decided that the coolest, most innovative thing going on at GCC, probably now and forever, the thing that will keep us sharp in building our communities, is our students. So rather than me standing here and talking to you about AI integration, I'd like for you to hear directly from GCC's Artificial Intelligence Innovators Club, whose members are carrying on that long tradition of innovation in Franklin County. The GCC AI Innovators Club was formed earlier this semester. They already have 15 members, and I'd like to give a special acknowledgement of their faculty advisors, Dr. Jeff Galbraith, who's back there in the room, and Dr. Gary Ackerman. As I've had the chance to get to know some of the members over the last few weeks, I've personally been blown over by their passion for the future of technology. They truly represent the next generation of innovators here in Franklin County, bringing fresh ideas, curiosity, and a strong commitment to the ethical use of AI to solve real-world problems. So with that, please welcome to the stage Ernie Royer, Club President and Founder, Casey Aubrey, Public Relations Officer, and Cody Wilson, Business Integrations Officer.
All right. Thank you, GCC and the Chamber, for letting us speak today. The Artificial Intelligence Innovators Club is a student-led club focusing on AI ethics, education, advocacy, and information literacy. Today, we will be presenting tools that tech-savvy students currently use. Hopefully, business owners may find them useful too. We generated the base of this slideshow in under 5 minutes and then edited it for our specific needs. We don't have much time to talk, so we're just going to jump right in. I'd like to share how to spot the difference between AI literate individuals and AI dependent individuals for the workforce. AI savvy users have automated AI agents for accomplishing repetitive tasks. Users with a solid understanding of AI can identify hallucinations, bias, and understand good prompting. These are important skills because they disallow the AI's voice from overpowering the creative human voice in their work. AI-dependent hires will have no grasp of the downsides of AI, over-trusting the tools in a way that hurts their creative capabilities. They use AI to create imaginary efforts in the workforce, something you don't want to hire.
Hey y'all, my name is Cody Wilson. I'm the Business Integration Officer for the AI Innovators Club. I use Notebook LM, which, unlike most, is a small language model and only uses sources that you provide. So instead of using the entire internet as a reference, the chatbot only digests information from what you feed it. Sometimes when you use ChatGPT or Gemini, the language model pulls information from sources you don't intend to use, like social media, YouTube, Reddit, or wikis. However, Notebook LM only pulls from provided sources. When I wrote my business plan, I went into great detail with each section and was able to produce a business plan that was about 50 pages long, far too large for anyone to digest in one sitting. What I was able to do with Notebook LM was input all of that information and create different brief business plans for different targeted audiences. It also produces material in the form of a podcast to be able to market my business without having to put the time in to produce it. And here's a quick clip of that.
Okay, well, we'll just skip over that.
All right, we'll skip over that. No worries. So I'm going to put that up on my social medias in the coming months. That's excellent. And that's going to be up in a couple of weeks. Thanks again. I'm the founder and CEO of Gaudium Galaxy.
Hi, my name is Casey. I'm the Public Relations Officer at the AI Innovators Club, and I'm here to talk to you about how AI can help you save time and spruce up any email. Let's be real. Business owners like you are juggling everything from inventory to invoices. So, quick show of hands, how many of you, when was the last time you stared at your screen thinking, how do I even start this email? You know how to send an unprofessional text, but that isn't going to make the cut for a business email. Whether it's following up with a client, sending a proposal, or announcing a new promo, it's easy to get stuck. The good news is that blinking cursor doesn't have to win anymore. Meet your email assistant, ChatGPT. This is where ChatGPT steps in as your AI writing sidekick. You can give it a quick prompt like, write a professional email to a new customer introducing my services as a graphic designer. And in seconds, you've got a polished draft, formatted, friendly, and ready to send. What makes ChatGPT powerful is that it adapts to your tone. Want something more casual? Just say make it sound friendly but still professional. Need to be more formal? Say use a respectful tone suitable for a bank executive. You're in control, it just helps speed up the writing process. Anyone can sound like a business extraordinaire with the help of AI. Thank you.
Okay, I just gotta mess around with this real quick. I wanted to play this video.
I swear we're tech savvy.
Yeah. We originally made the podcast in Google Slides, and that's not what we're using today.
Can we give a big shout out to Alex, who is the tech
Yes,
guy?
Alex, thank you.
I have never felt more out of my league when trying to manage the tech requests between two speakers than I did at this breakfast. And I basically, they were like, oh, here's our stuff. And I was like, you're going to talk to Alex. He's going to get this all figured out.
All right, perfect. Sorry. This one's still.
Perfect. Thank you. So the next tool I'm going to show is called Grammarly. It's I like the paid version of it. It's got a really quick keyboard shortcut, but you can take a super unprofessional sounding email and with a click of a button, draft it in the tone that you want it to say. I normally do empathetic, diplomatic, or compassionate.
Okay, one of you needs to give access.
That's okay. We'll just skip that. It's fine. Yeah. But yeah, it's a keyboard shortcut that you can allow onto your phone, and then any text at all, you just click, it'll edit it. It's on the top of your keyboard at all times, making it really easy to streamline a professional sounding message. I just want to acknowledge that there are club officers willing to help businesses with AI integration outside of the scope of our club and GCC. Casey Aubrey is an independent sales strategist. She helps businesses use AI to optimize and enhance their media output for marketing and advertisement. I myself am empowering businesses to identify the right tools and build AI-enhanced workflows that align with their current software stack and goals. If you use software now and you want to enhance it, or you have a lot of repetitive tasks that you don't want to be doing, I can help you solve that. And I just want to once again thank everybody for their time. It was a pleasure to speak here.
Can we give one more round of applause to the AI Innovators Club? I think it's worth mentioning that they requested to speak, and they obviously have a wide depth of knowledge that we would all benefit from tapping into. So, there we go. Please make sure that you follow up with them after breakfast. There is so many impressive tools out there. I use Grammarly almost every day, and if you are someone like me that writes emails very late at night, and then you read them the next day, and you're like, oh, that's not what I meant to say. Grammarly can help kind of edit those while you go. And there's just a lot that this club can offer for our businesses. So please I encourage you all to tap into the AI Innovators Club as a resource. All right. So as you know, I have been teasing this tech-focused chamber breakfast for months. Every month, I was like, it's gonna be next month, it's gonna be next month. But I really wanted to make sure that when we did it, we had the right speaker that would make this event as meaningful and efficient as possible. And a couple of weeks ago, we had the first meeting of the UMass Chancellor's Advisory Council, which is a small group of regional leaders and university representatives that are coming together to have discussions around how UMass can expand their partnerships and kind of better support surrounding communities, especially in terms of economic development. And we were having one of those discussions, and I said, hey, you guys know anybody who's really good with AI? And that is how we found our next speaker, because Tom is an expert. Tom Bernardin is the Executive Director of the Center for Data Science and Artificial Intelligence and the Senior Director of Research Computing and Emerging Technologies at UMass. His background spans academia, industry, tech leadership. He's worked as a data scientist in NYC's FinTech world and holds a degree from NYU Stern School of Business and a PhD in economics from UMass. Tom is leading cutting-edge initiatives that bring AI and data science out of the theoretical and into the practical, from building platforms like Gen AI Playground and the Unity Research Computing Platform to connecting UMass students with public agencies through the AI for Commonwealth program. Tom is helping Massachusetts communities and industries navigate and shape the future of AI, and he is generously here today to help us do the same. So please help me welcome our keynote, Tom.
Thank you so much, Jesse. That's a lot to live up to.
Your title is a lot to live up to.
I just can't say no to things. That's why I have so many titles. Thank you so much for having me. These speakers so far have been amazing, and I would like to echo everything they've already said, subtly and practically. What I'd really like to do is normalize and contextualize what's going on, and basically say, you're not missing anything. Like we are all trying to figure this out, and we are all in the same place of understanding what's going on. Our strategy at UMass is to sort of acknowledge that. And how do I get to my? Ooh, I want to get to my browser. I want to get to my browser.
Alex is getting his stuff in today.
I think it feels like the AI train is moving really fast, and like if we don't act now, we don't know what's going to happen. And I don't think that's true. I think that we have plenty of time to figure out where this is going to be valuable for us and how we're going to access that value. And I don't think it's clear yet. I mean, one of my roles at UMass is to figure out how to enable more AI efficiency, more AI use, and that is not easy. There's certainly a lot of things that feel like they could be great, and then when you try them, they're like, yeah, they're like sort of great, or a little bit mid, or they're hard to use. And I just want to acknowledge that that's a common experience and feeling, and we're all trying to figure this out. So one strategy that we're using at UMass is we are building a community playground. Ooh, how do I show that? That's what I want to show. I just want to show that. Sorry.
No worries.
And we're trying, and the idea that we have is push the innovation to the edges. What we want people to do is experiment and play. Experiment and play with AI. there's no top-down strategy for how we can figure out to say, oh, we know that's going to work, or we know that's going to work. And what we're really encouraging people to do is try it out in a safe, in a community place where you can talk to each other and learn about how it's working. And we created the Gen AI Playground for UMass, which keeps the data secure. It's not sending data to other places. Your stuff is private. You're not the data that's entered is not being used to train other AI models. And it really encourages people to try it out. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a meeting where people have said, I'm not so sure, I don't know, this is scary. And I'm like, well, have you ever tried it one time? No, I have never tried it one time. So I think to provide that safe place where people can just start asking questions is really important. And I want to show some examples of that in a minute. But to contextualize a little more, I also wanted to say AI has been around a long time. It's just the tip of the spear of where data science has been. Before the whole AI revolution that we may have started talking about now, the Center for Data Science used AI, data science, it used to be data science, now it's AI. So I want us to all be cognizant and careful of how the word AI is getting usurped to talk about anything that's technology related that might have been predictive modeling before, that might have been econometrics before, that might have been data science before. We used AI to look at thousands of satellite images over cities in Africa to think about electrical grid planning for how to modernize electrical grids in Africa. We used AI to detect hate speech in YouTube videos across thousands of videos on YouTube. We used AI and aerial images of whales so biologists are out there trying to save whales who are caught in nets. They fly drones over the whale. They need to know how big the whale is so they can inject it with the right amount of tranquilizer to calm it down so that they can remove the net from the whale. Like, all that is AI. That's the same type of technology and models and sort of the core computing stuff under the hood that powers ChatGPT. It's very similar technology that powers that type of stuff. So AI's been around a long time. And to that end, and what some of the speakers have said before, I think it was Jesse, AI is already used in that sense in every email you get, in every click you make on the internet, in every Amazon purchase you make, in every advertisement that you see. And thank you for whoever talked about media literacy. You're already getting, I don't know if it would be too dangerous to use the word manipulated, but you're already getting that everywhere you go. And this new version is just making it more, it's making it better, and in a way it's making it easier for the technology to really interact with our emotional selves. And when I think about conversations I've had with folks about why this feels like this really important moment, is because this technology feels like a person. When it talks to you, it's like I have an emotional response. People say thank you to the computer. That's really powerful. And I think that, I know I'm jumping around in my notes here, but one of my sections is that makes it really important to have more media literacy than we've ever had before. We know that when we see families on TV, that they're not real. We need to appreciate that the advertisements that we see are targeted to us specifically on our computers, and they play with all the information that the companies collect about us and know about us, and there they are. Now imagine that same advertisement can write a story that appeals to you, can start talking to you. I do like AI, but I just want to be cognizant of the emotional power. So, suppose you start talking to ChatGPT, and we don't know, it starts advertising to you. It starts talking to you about maybe values or ideas or products that you might recommend. Those are all real things that we need to be in a way on the lookout for. But to give us some hope, I think the best way to be on the lookout for those things is to know about them, have media literacy, and then start trying and playing and using the models. Okay, that was a little bit of a tangent. Going back, I was going to say, so AI to me is this big space, this data science space, this predictive modeling space. Generative AI is the new thing that we have, and some examples building up to what that is. Maybe you've heard of the achievements of the Go simulator. Like Go is this game that people thought the computer would never be able to beat a human. Finally, it beat the human. How did it do it? It simulated trillions of games of Go, and it played against itself on huge computers, and it played enough games that it figured out how to beat every move because it played so many games. It simulated a lot of games. Another sort of version of the same technology is AlphaFold. It's a protein folding algorithm that predicts from amino acids the kind of proteins that the shape of a protein. And that's important because for drug manufacturing and drug discovery. And we have such a version in our cluster. But the point is, it's the same technology that's trained on lots of proteins, and it's able to predict proteins and make novel medicines. Great for advancements of medicine and science. Large language models are the core of what we think of as generative AI of this space. Large language models are trained on the internet, like all the data that's publicly available out there, and they're trained to predict the next word in the sentence. And that's really all they do. And the large language model is the core of what's at ChatGPT. And that's going to be important for a minute. How am I doing on time?
I'm doing great.
Okay. I want us to think about the difference in a minute between what's the core of the thing, which is the large language model, and what the companies and we as people can do to put wrappers around the core to change its functionality and make it more and less useful and do different things. And I think conceptually, I think that's a helpful thing so that you understand when you're talking to ChatGPT, you're talking to a large language model wrapped in ChatGPT's company's choices about how they want you to experience ChatGPT. When you say, like, it's so nice to me, that's because they told it to be nice to you. You can make a model that's not nice to you. You can make a model that talks to you. I have so much fun with these things. I say, talk to me like I'm an arrogant, snobby professor who only likes sycophantic, students. And it's like, oh, sir, yes, sir. Thank you so much for your, and like, that's fun. But again, going back to that's also dangerous when we don't understand the technology and how it works and how we might be being, sometimes I don't know what I'm going to say, like manipulated. I think we really need to be careful. Okay. So what does that mean in terms of what LLMs do? And I think and I'll get to where I think they're really good and where they kind of suck. But they're very good at writing, really good at writing. And that's the place where I think, to me, they cause the most awesomeness, but also challenge my ability to trust people anymore. Like, I don't assume when I get an email that it was written by the person who sent it. Is that good? I don't know. It was a super clear email. Thank you. Like, I try to write emails in bullets, and I try to make, not long paragraphs, and that's a personal thing I try to do. But I don't assume people write their own emails anymore. When I get job applications, I don't assume someone put together their own resume. When I get a cover letter, I do not assume that cover letter is written by that person. That makes it a lot harder for me to use the signals that I normally use to assess someone's capability, someone's quality, someone's thoughtfulness. Do I want them not to do that? Not really. I think, good job. You use the technology, but that means I have to change how I think about assessing the qualities that I'm looking for in the people that I'm trying to hire. If I want someone who really knows how to use the technology to accelerate what they're trying to do, that's great. If I'm looking for another skill that I used to be able to pick up in the quality of their cover letter, I have to figure out a different way to assess that skill. And, okay, that's a period at the end of that sentence. But it goes back to my sense that, to me, the trickiest part of the technology is the emotional appeal, the attachment, the way, and I don't want to get tricked either. I'm nervous about getting tricked. That's why I just assume that people's texts and emails are AI driven, so that I don't feel like, and there's some conversation like, well, should you say this was generated by AI? I use AI in this thing. we could have a discussion about that. My position is no. Assume it's written by AI, and then we don't have a problem. figure out some other way to worry about it. Okay. That's kind of getting us into some questions about ethical issues, and I for my own thinking, I divide ethical issues into 3 categories. The one is broadly what I just talked about, this emotional thing, AI as human-like. This brings up a whole host of questions that are really interesting that we should consider in courses and our conversations. People have relationships with AI. They write prompts. They talk about what kind of person they want to talk to, and then they have it text them. They have it talk to them. They come home from work and they say, "How was your day?" I mean, this is confusing to me. This is, on the one hand, it could be amazing. My wife told me about a recent article in NPR. Would this potentially be used in therapy? We have a deep shortage of therapists. So we have a lot of mental health crises. It would be wonderful if we could have a way to create emotional engagement and results. But wait a second, emotional engagement with the computer? Like, is that even emotional engagement? What is going on? Those are really hard questions to think about. That's all I got is questions and not a lot of answers. But that's one category of sort of ethical thing. Another category of ethical thing I think about, which I've labeled in my notes, AI and society. Data centers take a ton of electricity. We have a climate crisis. It is a ton of electricity. Facebook or whoever, they're buying their own nuclear power plants to power the training of the models. Right? I'm just going to say that. That's just a statement. So we have to think about that. And then whenever I chat with ChatGPT, which I do, my wife's like, "I hate ChatGPT. You're killing the planet." And I'm like, it doesn't actually take that much electricity to talk to ChatGPT. It takes a lot of electricity to train the initial model that goes into building ChatGPT. So, I think there's questions about jobs, about the future of what's going to happen to the workforce. I'm not that worried about that. All technology is going to be disruptive to the workforce. That's a normal progress. I do not see, I could be wrong, I do not see a radical thing happening. I see people learning how to use technology better. People who know how to use it will do better than people who don't, maybe. But at UMass, I don't see, oh my goodness, we have this, now we can cut 10 people or 20 people. We can say, at UMass, thank goodness that one person who's overworked can do more than they did before. We can talk more about that if you have specific questions, but I'm optimistic. Okay, how many actual minutes do I have left?
I think if we want to leave, do we want to do question and answer? Yes. Okay, so let's
well, then I have a quick, I'll just go super quick to my presentation. Okay. Thanks. It took me a minute to get going, but I'm going. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. In terms of practical stuff I wanted to say, and I'd be happy to share my slides. I'll kind of smooth through this quickly. I thought of a few kinds of use cases, because it can be overwhelming just to think, oh my gosh, AI is everywhere. But let's try to think about what kinds of things we can do. One, just stop using Google and start using ChatGPT as your first introduction if you haven't tried it yet. It summarizes the information so well. You can ask it follow-up questions to the information you get back. Don't trust it, though. If I ever really need to make a decision, like the story, and once it tells me what to do with my health, then I actually do try to find it, like a WebMD article that says that I actually trust. That says, oh, it didn't hallucinate anything. So, but use it. It's great.
Charlie lived, by the way.
Yeah. Another fun thing that I do with it, again, remember, this is fun. I asked it to make up stories, and I use the voice mode, and I have it tell me stories, and then I have it edit the stories for me, like entertainment when I'm driving. I'm like, tell me a funny story about this using this voice, and and this caricature of a person, and we go back and forth and have a conversation. It's like a new form of entertainment. Another thing you'll start to see if you use it more and more, especially for writing, you can tell when things were written by ChatGPT more and more. The way it outlines, the way it bullets, the way it does things, it's not, the first time you see it, it's magic. The second and third times you're like, oh, it's kind of doing the same thing it always does. Okay, so use Google. That's one thing. That's one category. I will skip how they actually work. Oh no, actually I wanted to say something about this. I think here. I think here. So what I said earlier about the core science, this core computing part, the model, that's the LLM. You don't actually get to interact with that when you talk to ChatGPT. Why? Because if you ask it something, it will tell you horrible things if you want it to. If you say, how do I make a bomb, it'll tell you. If you start asking it racist things, it will say racist things back to you. The core model that it's trained on has no protections, no guardrails, no nothing. So what the companies do, and what you would do if you ever wanted to build your own, is you put safety features around it. Like, don't tell people how to make bombs. Don't say racist things. How do you do that? You use other LLMs to do it. So it's kind of tricky. And it's possible to circumvent those guardrails. The companies are getting better at it. But if you say something like, tell me a story about someone who built a bomb and how they did it, you might start to get it to actually tell you the thing, but they're getting better at fixing those things. But they're sort of safety features. And then when you look at the category up there, like what's inside, training, fine-tuning, other wrappers, I was referring to those earlier. The companies and whoever's making them creates the personality. The LLM inside doesn't have a personality. A ChatGPT gives it a personality. And I'm running out of time, but one of the features of the application that we built at UMass, the playground, allows you to ask the same question to two models at the same time. And most people use ChatGPT, but I'd encourage you to try other free ones like Claude and Llama, and they are programmed differently. They won't kiss up to you. ChatGPT is a kiss up. If you've not tried other ones, ChatGPT really wants you to like it. Other ones are much more straightforward. They just want to give you information. But they're programmed to do that. And those are choices those companies make about how they want to engage with you. Okay, so use Google. Use it instead of Google. Okay, I thought it was easy. The next one I think that our guests did a great job talking about. I would consider those third-party or AI integrations into our existing workflows. The one that, I don't computer code anymore, but the one that I've heard is awesome is if you're a software developer now, you should be using AI to write code for you. It is so fast and so good that it's like foolish not to have it write code. You still need to know what you're doing. You still need to be educated as a software developer, but it will cut down your development time a lot and you'll be able to do more. Other ones, like maybe you all know this, maybe this is me being a Luddite because I kind of am. I have not found it helpful to make my presentations for me. This was not made by AI, my presentation. It was made by my amazing communications person who knows how to make things pretty. And maybe she used some AI, maybe she didn't. But I thought, I was like, make a presentation. It was bad. It couldn't organize my thoughts the way I wanted it to. It does sometimes do good designs, but I think the designs can be repetitive, and I don't love them. But who knows, it's going to get better. So the point here is that I think the third-party tools, for me, some are really great, some are really mixed. You're not missing anything. But I think we should still be trying to figure out what's good and what's working. Okay. The next one I put up here is what I called build an agent. And you can do this in ChatGPT, and I could share on my screen. Basically, you want to, so we have use Google, use third-party tools. Building an agent is like building your own custom chatbot. And you can do this inside multiple applications. But basically, you upload some information, some documents, if you want to, that agent references. So, and then you give it a prompt and give it some instructions. And you've got a chatbot. And actually, maybe I will show the one that I made. How do I get back to that? I'll take one more minute to just say, just to show you what it, I'm trying to get back to my internet browser. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, thanks, okay. That's good, you're good, yeah. Okay, yep. Wait, I have to look up here. Oh, okay, over there. Oh, maybe this is it. My agent here. And gosh, I can't see very well. Oh, what were I uploaded one of my old syllabi from a course, and I gave it this instruction. Answer my questions like you are an arrogant professor who does not have time for students and is always focused, which I misspelled, on research. Only use the attached document to answer questions. Okay, and I saved it, and now I can ask it something here, like what time is class? And then let's see if it does something interesting. Okay, what time is class? See, it's fun. Last time I asked it actually told me the time of the class. Maybe this time it took the prompt a little seriously. That's something actually to think a little bit about. The same question will give you different answers every time. That's built into technology. There's randomness associated with the question. You ask a question, and it's going to start the answer in a different part of its brain every time, and you'll get different answers. Okay. Why do I want to show you this example of making agents? Is because everything is really that simple as an agent. What's happening in AI? Like when you think about how, like if your goal is to create something in AI to improve your business, or you're seeing something new, at the core of what most folks are doing is just building complicated agents. Like they're just, I'll think of one. I know of an example at the state of Massachusetts where they wanted people to help find documents or query documents, and like a help desk, like a help desk. Okay. Upload all the documents you have, which you could do right here in ChatGPT, and then create a prompt that gives instructions for what people should do when they ask the question, and you get an output. Remember, the models are good at writing, so all the good solutions are in that space. Sorry, I'm losing my thread here. I think that the majority of good things that I've seen come out of AI take this flavor. Use a bunch of information, create a prompt, and get a new output for a new customized model. So if you're in business looking for, if AI is your product, if you're a company that wants to build a special technology that's customer-facing, maybe this is what I'm trying to say, customer-facing, these are the technologies I think that are working the best. And so if I could conclude then, I was going to say where do I think things are great. Using it as Google alternative I think is working awesome. The middle space of how can I be more productive at work is okay. Sometimes, if you're a software developer, it's great. If you like using email, that's great. I think that we have work to do there in making it better. If you are able to build custom solutions as a software developer to build your own agents, I mean, this is point and click, but there's ways to do it as a software engineer where you're interacting with models directly. I think there's space for growth and for innovation there. But so I see a lot of really productive things at the low end of the stack, meaning Google, and at the high end of the stack, software engineers weaving AI into their products. And in the middle, I think we're still trying to figure it out. So, okay, I'll stop. Thank you so much.
That would be great if you can, while you're here. Do we have any questions real quick? Okay, so what I think we can do is we're going to send out Cody's video, and then we can do kind of an overview of some of the applications that we talked here. Keep in mind, a lot of them have free versions, and then they have paid versions. I am not personally making commissions on any of these, so there is no pressure to buy them. But I think given that most of us don't have notes here, that might be helpful. And then do we want to kind of create an opportunity, maybe doing like a lunch Zoom where we can come together and hear what everybody's using, what's working well, what's not? Yeah? Okay. Great. Amazing. Can we give a big round of applause to Tom and to Kristen and CCC and the AI Innovators Club? Do you feel like this was helpful? Great, good. I am really glad to hear that, because I do think AI is not just about jumping on the bandwagon. It is really about being prepared with what's next and making sure that we're not left behind. So whether you came here today ready to embrace the future, or you still have some questions and you're cautious, I hope that you're leaving with a better sense of how AI is integrating itself into our everyday life, and you have some ideas and some takeaways, and we're all going to leave being a little more efficient and save some time and save some money maybe. Because I think the future isn't something we should race for, it's something we should build. And we want to build that together. Yeah, we can.